So hello and welcome. We are doing a pick a card, which is something I have not done in quite some time on my channel. And I thought, you know what, let's give it a go. I was in the mood to be creative, and pick a cards are quite creative for me because I come up with new spreads, I come out with new ways of picking cards, I come up with all those kind of things. So I was feeling creative. So you get to benefit and you get a pick a card reading. So if this is the first time that you are doing pick a card with me, let me just take a minute to explain how it works. I'm going to change the screen in a minute and show you three things, and you get to choose from one of them. So the three things, I try and keep them along the same kind of theme or the same kind of whatever. You'll see what they are in a minute, and you need to go with your gut instinct. You need to, if you want to use a pendulum, or if you want to just like the first one that you're drawn to, which is why I'm not telling you what they are yet. Some people just always resonate with number one or number two or number three. So I've given you the numbers, I'm giving you an object, I'm giving you the name of the object, I'm not giving you what the object represents. You may know, all right, you may already have that information, and that in that case, that's absolutely fine. So you've got to allow your intuition to guide you towards one of three readings. Then, once you know which of the three readings is the one that you are drawn to, you look in the timestamp of this particular video. The timestamp is this little red bar that you see down here, and you will see that there are chunks. I've sort of categorized it and put timestamps in so that you can jump to reading one, reading two, or reading three. So when you get there, each of the three readings are going to be exactly the same. They're going to have, well, not exactly the same. They're going to have the same format. They're obviously going to be completely different, but they're going to have the same format. So I am going to use the same deck of cards, and the deck of cards, I'm just looking behind me. Can we see the box for the deck that I'm using? Yes, this one over there. Tarot of Mystical Moments is the tarot deck that I am using today. So it is that one over there, the red one with the two faces. There we go. So it's the Tarot of Mystical Moments is the tarot deck that I am using today. I'm not using an oracle deck. We're just going straight with the tarot because we are doing self-reflection. So I like this deck because it's a little bit quirky, it's a little bit different, it goes against the grain ever so slightly, so it means that we get to look at ourselves in a different way. I have got 5 questions that I have written down to help us look at self-reflection. So as I said, each of the 3 readings are going to have exactly the same format. They're using the same tarot deck, they're using the same 5 questions, they're going to have the same format, but obviously the readings are going to be different. And I'm hoping that by you getting involved in choosing the reading for yourself, that you will be drawn to an appropriate, valid, and hopefully amazing reading for you. One that's going to help you understand yourself a little bit better. One that's going to help you just sort of put your perspective onto your own life right now as to where you are, what you're going through, and why you're going through it. Why are you having the moods that you're having, and all these kind of things. So it's quite interesting. So let me change the camera up a bit. Give me 1 second. That was even less than 1 second. And here on the table in front of me are reading 1, reading 2, and reading 3. So friends, I've got crystals for you today. This is an amethyst spirit quartz. You can see the amethyst coloring on top. This is quite a rough, I love them when they're in their natural state. So amethyst quartz crystal is reading number 1 for you today. And then reading number 2 is going to be if you're drawn to purple and green. I know the coloring is not great here, but this whole section here is quite a vibrant green in normal sunlight, but it's purple and green, and this is the fluorite crystal. So if you're drawn to purple and green, because purple and green are pretty. And then finally we have got rose quartz, and this is just a beautiful polished piece of a rose quartz crystal. So those are the 3 crystals that I want you to focus on. You can either go because you like the name of it, because you like the colors, because you know rose quartz and you're familiar with rose quartz and you know that it represents love and all of those kind of good things. Do whatever you need to do. You can use your pendulum, you can use your body, you can trust your intuition, but at this point I need you to pick 1, 2, or 3. Take your time. Pause the video if you need to do whatever you need to, you know, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, if that's what you need to do, but find yourself a particular reading. All right. You got it. You know which one is yours. Okay, so at this stage, when I'm recording this part of the video, I have no idea how the readings are going to turn out because I record this part, then I record, then I record, and then I record. So now all you have to do is as I say, down the bottom here in the red bar, if you're going, if you chose reading one, you don't have to do anything because we're going to go straight into reading one now. But if you chose 2 or 3, you want to look at this red bar and allow you to jump so that you bypass reading 1 completely and you go to reading 2 and 3. So friends, I am going to change things up on the screen again. We're going to start with reading 1 and I shall see you at your reading. Right, so welcome to those of you who chose the Amethyst Spirit Quartz as your reading. I'm going to shuffle the tarot, and while I'm shuffling the tarot, let's talk a little bit about the crystal. Let's talk a little bit about self-reflection, which is the reading that we are doing. So my understanding, and I mean, you can Google it, you can do whatever you like, use your own knowledge if you have, but my understanding of Amethyst Spirit Quartz is that it brings in spirit. It is a beautiful stone to use, a beautiful crystal to use for connecting to spirit, for bringing spirit closer to you, to connecting with you. I also believe though that Amethyst Spirit Quartz is really, really good for multi-dimensional healing. Okay, so if you've got healing that needs to be done from past lives, if you've got healing that needs to be done in the astral levels, this is such a beautiful crystal to use for that kind of work. So what does this tell me about you, that you chose it? Well, it tells me that you have a yearning for connecting to spirit. It tells me that you have a yearning for healing past lives, healing other worlds, healing people, healing everything and everyone, no matter what their situation and circumstances. But it also tells me that you have a desire to connect directly to spirit. So yeah, how accurate are we so far? All right, friends, now let's look at self-reflection. As I said to you, this particular reading, I have got a beautiful spread. We're going to draw 5 cards from this particular deck, and the 5 cards are going to give us a good insight into who you are, what you are right now, what are you going through right now, what are the things that are happening, where should you be focusing your energy, you know, and also to get a message from spirit. So let's have a look. For all of you who chose the Amethyst Spirit Quartz, cards are shuffled. Let's cut the deck and let's lay them out. I'm going to put all 5 down first so that we can see them. Oh, look, we got the full card. We have the King of Swords. Oh, I love the colors. This deck is just beautiful. 8 of Swords. This is getting interesting. We have the Hermit card, and our final card that we have is the 3 of Wands. Right, the colors are quite dark and gloomy, but I quite like that. I quite like that. All right, so pile number 1, reading number 1, card number 1 we have for you is your current state. You've got the full card. So this tells you that right now in your life, you're feeling quite optimistic. You're feeling quite positive. You're feeling quite enthusiastic and excited about what life has to offer you. You know that nothing is guaranteed. You know that nothing is concrete, that, you know, anything can happen at any time, but you still are just trusting the process and going through. So it's like there is movement, there is progress, there is action that is happening in your life, even though you know that there's potential for danger, there's potential for problems and all of that kind of thing, but you're still trusting the process and going through the journey, which I think is fantastic. Because, you know, it's when we stop trusting and when we have fear and when we allow our fear to stop us from making progress, that's when we start going wrong. That's when we start having challenges in our life. So I love the fact that the full card for you here is indicating that you don't quite know where you're going, but you're trusting and hoping that everything's going to work out, and you're just taking step by step by step by step as you're going through, hoping and praying that ultimately, eventually, everything works out exactly as it should. All right, so card number 2. What has been affecting your mood the most lately, though? Like, what is the one thing that's been triggering you? What is the one thing that's been stopping you from being so enthusiastic and excited about life? And it's your head. It's your thinking. You're your own worst enemy right now. Okay, you are your own worst enemy right now, and I can see that coming up in the balance of the cards, knowing the questions that I've been asking. So you've got the King of Swords here, right? What has been affecting your mood the most lately? And the King of Swords is definitely, it's saying about control of the mind, right? So it's the mind and what's going on in the mind that has been affecting your mood, because you can wake up in the morning, You can have an absolutely fantastic day up to a certain point, and then all of a sudden there's a thought that comes into the head, a thought that comes into the mind, and suddenly whoop, we downhill and everything is broken and everything is falling apart. Okay, and we need to be aware that this is how we are, that this is what's happening for us, because if we can stop those thoughts, or if we can catch those thoughts before the roller coaster hits the down, if we can stop those thoughts in their tracks, so to speak, we can stop the negative consequences of our roller coaster ride, emotional. All right, so we need to understand that. And sometimes I'm going to say to you, this particular thought that we're referring to here, this whatever's going on in the mind that throws you off, it's not always because of your own actions or your own thoughts. Sometimes it can be an external trigger or an external situation that gets you into that mindset. So what has been affecting your mood the most lately is the way that you are thinking about certain things that are unfolding or happening in your life at the moment. Where should you be focusing your energy is question 3, card 3. And here we have the Eight of Swords. Now, I want to talk about the artwork here, because to me, the artwork on this particular card is it's phenomenal. So here we have a lady clearly sitting inside a birdcage and a little bit stuck. Okay, she hasn't really got space to move. You can see the bird cage is completely around her. Yes, her wings are sticking out of the bird cage, so she does have a little bit of flexibility and movement with her wings, but she can't stand up, or can she? Because friends, look, it's not closed. The lid is not on. The roof is not on. But because her head is turned down, she can't see what's going on. So she truly, truly believes that she is trapped. She believes that she is stuck. She believes that she is in this bird cage and she can't move. If she just took a second to raise her head and to look up, she would see that the roof is not on, which means she can stand up, she can escape, she can go away. But she's allowing herself to be a victim of perception. Interesting. Victim of perception. So, where should you be focusing your energy? On actually looking at what's around you, to actually take in your immediate surroundings. Do not perceive, do not imagine, do not expect, okay? Because that's the thing that has been affecting your mood the most. Okay, so when you get a phone call, so okay, let me give you a real world kind of scenario. You're sitting at your desk, you're doing a thing. There's a problem with the customer, you're dealing with it in the best way that you can. All of a sudden, you see that there is a phone call coming in from your boss, the top dude, right? The person who likes to scream and shout and threaten your job. You immediately jump to worst case scenario. You immediately jump to the fact that the boss has heard about the dilemma with the client, and the boss is now phoning to scream and shout at you and to rip your head off and fire you, and you've lost your job, and hyperventilation, and the phone's just ringing. So that is what you need to focus on, because it's that thinking, it's that negative thinking that's getting you into that hyperventilation state. And that's where these walls of this cage just get in tighter and tighter, tighter and tighter, until eventually you are squashed. Whereas if we look at the situation truly, you don't know why the boss is phoning you until such time as you answer it and say, hello. And that's where the fool comes in. So what is your current state? Your current state is one of, I'm doing my best. I'm going through the motions. I'm doing everything I possibly can in the best way that I can, but I feel so uncertain. It's that when something happens, when something bad happens, and the mind goes off at a tangent, that we immediately jump to worst case scenario. You need to focus your energy on the fact that when you feel like you have no options, when you imagine that you are caged and tight and squashed and unable to move with no options, when you feel that way, lift your head, look up, look around you, and see that your cage does not have a roof, that your cage is not locked, it's not closed. You can escape, but it's your own limiting beliefs that are holding you captive and holding you in that space. All right, so this is where you need to be focusing your energy. This is where you are, I'm going to call it, lacking at the moment. Remember, we're doing self-reflection. So when we do self-reflection, we look at the bad, but then we also need to look at the positive. So this is the area that needs a bit of work, right? This is where you are. This is the area that needs a little bit of work. Now we're going to look at what has actually been going well for you. So right now, what is actually working for you? And here we have the Hermit card. So the Hermit is the card of introspection, hence why you're watching this video, because you're all about improving yourself, bettering yourself. You're all about self-reflection. That is exactly what the Hermit card is. And you know what? There are some people who spend an entire life doing self-reflection but never actually learning anything through the process. You're not one of those. You're the kind of person who's like, I'm doing the work, I'm doing the introspection, I'm doing the self-reflection, but I'm also gaining insight, knowledge, and understanding, and I'm using it to improve my circumstances, to improve my life, to make me a better version of myself. And that, friends, is fabulous. We don't ever want to change that. We don't ever want to change that, you know, because understanding that you are doing the best that you can, and you are, you know, so the thing that's been going well for you is the fact that you are looking at your life, you are looking at your situations, you are looking at your circumstances, and you're asking yourself, all right, so that worked, that didn't work, next time this is how I'm going to react, this is what I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to behave. So it is about learning from situations, learning that when the boss is phoning you, it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes they're phoning you to ask a very simple question. Sometimes they're phoning you to give you praise, to give you a little bit of, you know, a little bit of a pat on your back. Don't always assume the worst, because when you assume the worst, it restricts you and limits you, and that's not what life is about. Okay. Amethyst Spirit Quartz family, let's have a look at card number 5. And this is just a general message from Spirit, anything that you need to know, words of wisdom from Spirit right now. And there you have the Three of Wands. Now, the Three of Wands is a very interesting card because it's the card of saying, I've made a decision, I know what I'm doing, and now I'm following it through. It's the card of I've already embarked, I've already started, I've already begun my journey. I know where I've come from. I've made my decision. I'm still feeling very comfortable with my decision, and I'm making progress in moving forward with my life. And this is Spirit saying to you that you already know, listening to this particular reading right now, you already know exactly what aspect of your life this is referring to. And you already know exactly what it is you need to do. And if you are honest with yourself and you self-reflect and you are honest with yourself, you will see that you've already made progress. You've already started fixing and repairing this. So you deserve that pat on the back. You deserve the acknowledgement. And this is exactly it from Spirit saying, we see you. We see the work that you've put into it. We see the effort that you've put into everything. All you have to do is stay committed to the journey. Stay committed to that process, and keep making progress. You know, don't give up before you've reached your destination, because this is something that you do when the mind gets crazy as only the mind can, and when the mind starts holding you back, it can be quite easy to throw in the towel and say, oh, you know what, I can't do this, this is not for me, and I'm throwing in the towel. And this is Spirit saying, you're not allowed to throw in the towel. You have to keep going, because what you're moving towards, what you're doing is actually good for you, and ultimately it's going to bring you happiness, joy, success, and abundance that you want and that you deserve. So friends, Spirits are acknowledging that they see how hard you're working. They see how much you are trying to improve your circumstances. They recognize that you don't always have the answers, but you keep trying, and they're acknowledging that that's all that you have to do. So I do hope that this little reading on self-reflection just gives you the motivation and the inspiration that you need to carry on in your journey, because you're moving in the right direction for the right reasons, and I think it's wonderful. And so do Spirit. With much love and many blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care. So hello and welcome to those of you who chose the fluorite crystal reading number 2. Welcome. I am going to shuffle the tarot while we chat about fluorite, while we chat about self-reflection, and while we get ready for this reading. So fluorite is a beautiful crystal, okay? It comes in different colors. Typically, I think this one that I have is called what they refer to as the rainbow fluorite, because it's got such a variety of colors. My one, as I said, is purple and green, but you do get fluorite in all sorts of colors. Now, when you can Google it, you can look it up yourself as to what rainbow fluorite or what fluorite crystal represents. But in my understanding, sorry, itchy nose. In my understanding, fluorite represents protection. It's a stone, a crystal that is used quite strongly for protection of your aura, strengthening of your aura, protection and strengthening of your aura, and also to ward off or to keep off negativity. Because it is what I refer to as a happy crystal, we use it for happy things. And warding off negativity is definitely a happy thing, isn't it? Keeping yourself in a good space, keeping yourself happy and motivated, protecting yourself from all of those kind of things. But also, fluorite is also a really, really good crystal for mental clarity, for keeping the brain sharp, for keeping the thinking clear, and for not letting anything cloud our understanding. So friends, what does this mean about you? What does this say about you? If you chose the fluorite crystal, reading number 2, what does it say about you? Well, it says that you are a kind of person who is always very much aware of your own energy and about protecting your own energy and making sure that you're not giving too much of your energy away to others. You're probably also the kind of person who puts up healthy boundaries, healthy barriers, or maybe you need healthy boundaries and barriers with people in your life so that people don't come and take advantage of you. So yeah, I hope that already is a accurate reading, a reflection on who you are and why you are here for this particular reading. All my shuffling is making my papers fly around. So we're doing a reading on self-reflection. I have got 5 questions that I need to ask. So we're going to get 5 cards from the Tarot of Mystical Moments. There we go. Cards are shuffled, cut. Let's lay out the cards and get straight into the reading. So the first one we have is the 10 of Swords. We have the 4 of Cups. I love that umbrella. Oh, we have the 3 of Cups. So I've got the 4 of Cups and the 3 of Cups. We have the Ace of Wands. How fabulous is that? And finally, we have the 7 of Cups. I love how bright and vibrant these cards look on screen. Don't they just look fabulous? All right, so let's look at card number 1. So card number 1, we're doing self-reflection. So this particular spread, this particular reading is going to give you an idea of where you are at in your life right now. What are you dealing with? What are you focusing on? What's going on in your life right now? And card number 1 is your current state. I mean, it's as simple as that. What is your current state? Whether it's state of mind, state of heart, state of being, it doesn't matter. What is your current state? And we've got the 10 of Swords. Now, you can see if you look at the expression on her face, she's a little bit pained. She's not very enthusiastic. She's not very excited. The eyes are closed. And she's got all of these pins going into her head. And there are all these people. Now, we can't see if they're putting the pins in or if they're taking the pins out. We don't know. But regardless, the pins are in her head. And I don't know if you've ever had a pin in you, but it hurts. This is acupuncture on a whole different level. But 10 of Swords is the card of feeling very overwhelmed, feeling like, you know what, I just can't anymore. That feeling of I'm done, okay? Time out, I'm done. But also in the surrendering to that kind of feeling, in the surrendering to the circumstance and the situation, is often where the resolution, where the healing, where the change of circumstance actually comes about. And that is the message of the 10 of Swords. It's when you stop resisting the change, when you stop resisting the inevitable, that's when miracles happen. That's when circumstances can turn around completely. But while you're resisting and holding on and restraining yourself, you're not making any progress. You're not moving out of the situation. So I'm going to say to you that, yes, she has 10 pins in her head. Yes, that is not pleasant. And yes, that is a reflection of you at the moment. You are feeling very overwhelmed. You are feeling as if there is just so much going on and you don't know which way is up. You don't know which way to stop. You don't know what to do. So it's all feeling quite overwhelming and it's all feeling quite a lot. But maybe if we look at these hands, maybe we can actually see that they are taking the swords out and not putting them in. But she had to accept the fact that the swords were there first. And I feel like that's exactly where you are. And it's interesting that you chose fluorite, which to me is about protection. And it's also about mental clarity. And here she's got swords in her head. I mean, mental clarity, you know. So I think this is Spirit saying to you that your situation at the moment is delicate. Okay, some days are good, some days are not good. You seem to be like a little bit up and down and a little bit all over the place. But when you accept that this is your circumstance, that this is your situation, that this is the life that you have, the life that you are living, that this is the thing that you're dealing with, when you acknowledge that and admit that for yourself, that is when the pins will be removed. And that is when the pain will be alleviated. And that is when the circumstance changes for the better. But while you are resisting the acknowledgement, the pain is going to persist. Okay, so that is your current state. Now we look at the Four of Cups. And the question we're asking here with the Four of Cups is, what has been affecting your mood the most? So, like, what is the one thing that's actually currently like really triggering you and causing you to feel this way? We have the Four of Cups. Now, again, we have this lady sitting. She's not looking at us. She's off to the side. She's sitting sideways. She's off to the side. But if you look at her body language, if you look at the way that she's sitting, she's very closed off. Okay, knees up to the chest. She's protecting her vulnerable. She's got her arms crossed and she's got her head down. She do not want to talk to nobody. Okay, she reminds me of somebody who is just sitting in a corner sulking and saying, I don't want to know your story, I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to know anything. Somebody who is very closed off. What she doesn't realize is the protection of the umbrella that is over her head. We can see that it is putting her into a funnel, into a tunnel of protection. This bird that has come along there carrying an umbrella is bringing protection, but she's so self-absorbed. She's so caught up in her own negativity that she doesn't realize that there are people, birds, people around her all the time who only want the good for her, only want positive for her, and who are protecting her, who are bringing happiness and joy to her. But she's not seeing it. She's not seeing it. Why? Because she's just caught up in her own disillusion of life. So, to put it into simple terms, what has been affecting your mood the most lately is the fact that you're so bored, you're so disinterested, you're so uninspired by the life that you're living, by the circumstances around you, situations around you, that even when there are nuggets of beauty and nuggets of happiness and nuggets of protection and joy, that you don't even see it. You're so fixated on the pain and the discomfort that you are going through that when there is a lessening of pain and suffering, you're not even aware of it because you're so used to having the pain. You're so used to always saying, I have discomfort, I have pain, I have unhappiness, that when there is a moment where there isn't pain, discomfort, or unhappiness, you don't even see it. Three of Cups. Now, if you know me, if you've been following my tarot journey for any amount of time, you will know that the Three of Cups is my jam. It's my card. You know, I have two favorite cards in the whole tarot deck, and Three of Cups is one of them. So much so that I even had three cups tattooed on my arm. Three of Cups is my jam. Why? Because Three of Cups is joy, it's happiness, it's celebration, it's togetherness. It's time, it's good times with good people. And that to me is what life is all about. Good times with good people, happiness, joy, success, and abundance. The question we're asking here is, right, so we've looked at your current state. We've looked at what's been affecting your mood. Now we're looking at where should you be focusing your energy. And this is exactly, you need to get out more. You need to spend time with happy people. And I make a point there, happy people, okay? You know, you've heard the saying, you can choose your friends but not your family. We all tend to, because family is everything, right? And I'll be the first one to tell you that family is everything. But I'll also be the first one to tell you that family can sometimes hurt. Family can sometimes be a little bit disruptive. Family can sometimes be a little bit too much. So, but we love them. We need them. They need us. It's family, right? We're not talking about family. Three of Cups is not talking about family. Three of Cups is talking about your tribe. The people where you can just be yourself, where you can let your hair down, where you can laugh, where you can cry, where you can scream, where you can shout, where you can dance. The people who don't judge you for being who you are. And I wonder, do you have those people in your life? And it doesn't have to be a huge crowd of 50 people. It could be one, it can be two, it can be three. But do you have those people who know you at the core of your being, those people who love you unconditionally, and those people that when you're with them, you just want to have fun. You just want to be silly. You just want to laugh, and you just want to, have good times. Because this is where you need to be focusing your energy. Yes, there is pain and discomfort, but there are also moments of reprieve that you're not seeing. But if you spend some time with your tribe, with people who uplift you, with people who make you feel better, then it'll immediately alleviate this and make you realize that it's not all doom and gloom. Okay, very important. Where should you be focusing your energy? On spending time with people who make you feel better. Simple as that. Okay, so we've looked at we're doing self-reflection, and I know self-reflection mostly is about the negative, but we're also going to focus on the positive because I'm all about the balance. So here on card 4, the question we're asking here is, what has been going well for you? So we looked at where you are, what's been affecting your mood, where you should be focusing your energy, but in all honesty, what has been going well for you? And the card we have here is the Ace of Wands. And Ace of Wands, I mean, I love that she has this huge big book on her lap. And as she opens this book, this huge big, like, larger than life size flower emerges. And she doesn't even look surprised, She doesn't even look like, oh, I would be like, oh my gosh, look what I did. But she's quite, she's quite cool. She's quite cool as a cucumber. Why? Because she made it happen. All right. The book, it represents learning. It represents that we're still figuring things out. We're still trying to work out how we should be doing things. But the Ace of Wands here, for what has been going well for you, is when you try new things, it generally works out for you. But we're not trying new things because we're stuck in that mindset. But when you have tried new things, it has actually worked out really well for you. So you need to spend a minute and just think about that, and actually acknowledge that, yes, when you have tried new things, it has worked out well for you. And that's a positive. That's a really, really big positive. So yeah, what has been going well for you? Anything new that you try, even if it is growing something out of a book, anything that you've tried, you've put a bit of thought into it, you put a bit of effort into it, there's been a bit of planning, a bit of strategy, and actually it's worked out pretty well. So it isn't all pain and discomfort. There are absolutely positives in your life at the moment. All right. Fluorite, our last card, is just a message from Spirit, words of wisdom from Spirit, anything else that Spirit needed you to know. And we got a very appropriate 7 of Cups. So I love the 7 of Cups. There she is floating on a cloud, as we do. We all do that. We go and float up on our cloud and just, play with the stars. And she's got a little wand, and what she's doing is she's choosing which stars are going to be illuminated on this night. So she's dabbing and choosing which stars. Basically, she has choice. You can see how many stars are in the sky. There are a plethora of stars. There are so many. There are thousands, thousands, thousands of stars. And she's going that one, that one, that one, and that one, while she's quite comfy lying on her cloud. So the message that Spirit have for you here is to please understand that as you go through your life, as you are experiencing pain and discomfort, as you are experiencing boredom, disinterest, and just this general feeling of meh, as you're experiencing all of that, you have choice. And you're choosing this when you could be choosing this. 7 of Cups is the card of choice. It's the card of understanding that you always have choice. And even when things are going wrong, even when there's pain and suffering, you still have choice. And it's your choice, your consequence of your choice that got you there in the first place. Okay? So, and you can change. You can change your circumstances by changing your choices. So sometimes I know that in life, when we have too many choices, when we have too many options, I know that it can become quite overwhelming. Um, and sometimes that overwhelm actually creates analysis paralysis, where we just don't make a decision. And what Spirit is saying to you here is that by not making a decision, you actually are making a decision. When you don't make a choice, you're making a choice not to make a choice. So hopefully that helps you to understand that there is always choice. You always have choice. You chose this reading. You chose to hear this message. You chose to experience the pain and suffering that you're experiencing at the moment. And you can choose to turn it around And to turn it around, all you have to do is spend time with people who make you happy. It's as simple as that. So friends, I do hope that this reading on self-reflection has highlighted the bad and the good. I hope that it inspires you and motivates you to make some choices and some changes that will hopefully uplift and change your circumstance so that you don't have to deal with the pain and the suffering anymore, and that your life can be full of happiness, joy, success, and abundance. With much love and many blessings from our heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care. Hello and welcome to those of you who chose Rose Quartz reading number 3 today. Welcome, and I hope that you are going to enjoy this reading on self-reflection. So I'm going to shuffle the tarot, and while I'm shuffling the tarot, we're going to chat a little bit about Rose Quartz, and just to sort of understand, what is Rose Quartz, what does it represent, and what does that say about you? So if you don't already know, and I say that because I think everybody knows what Rose Quartz stands for, what Rose Quartz represents. So Rose Quartz is the crystal of love. It is the crystal of unconditional love. It is also the crystal of compassion and understanding. So what does that mean about you? Well, it means that it's what you're yearning for in life. You've chosen this knowing that this particular reading is on self-reflection. So this means that you're feeling as if there is a lack of love in your life, a lack of understanding in your life, and you're looking to get it. Now, whether that is of the self, whether it is that you don't love yourself, or whether it is that you feel as if there isn't an external love that comes to you, but you're in search of unconditional love in one way, shape, or form in your life. And also, as I said, unconditional love and compassion. So maybe you're the kind of person who gives compassion to others all the time, and maybe there isn't a lot of compassion and love coming back at you. So maybe you're a giver and you find it difficult to receive. So very interesting. I hope that is an accurate interpretation of your situation right now. I have the tarot shuffled, and let's cut the deck. And for our self-reflection spread, I have 5 questions. So I'm going to lay out 5 cards from the deck, and then let's get into the reading and see. Oh, we have the Tower card first. The Tower card first. Second card we have is the Queen of Pentacles. I love her. Third card we have is the Seven of Swords. We then have the Three of Cups making a second appearance in this pick a card reading today. And we have, the Three of Pentacles. All right. So there we have our 5 cards. Okay, so Rose Quartz. We have our 5 cards. They're positioned here. I have 5 questions. Let's go through them. We are doing a reading around self-reflection, helping you to self-reflect on your life, what you're going through at the moment, where love is needed, where compassion is needed, and what it actually looks like. So card number 1 is the Tower. Now, typically in a tarot reading, we don't want to see the Tower because the Tower normally comes with quite a heavy message. And it's a message that a message of pain and destruction. The Tower card is telling you that your world is crumbling, that the things that you've built your life on, the foundations that you've built your life on, are just crumbling down. And when that happens, I mean, it's devastating. It is absolutely devastating. And friends, this is the card here is your current state. So this is telling you it's not that your world is going to crumble. Your world's crumbled. Okay, it's happening. Right? Everything's falling apart. You're feeling, and that's probably why you chose the Rose Quartz, because you want love. You want to feel as if everything's okay. You want to feel as if there is love in the world again, in your world again, because at the moment, everywhere you turn is just chaos and mayhem. And maybe you're feeling quite overwhelmed by it. Well, I certainly would be. So the Tower card is the card of, as I say, destruction, of everything falling apart, everything coming tumbling down, and just mass destruction everywhere. Can you see what this lady's doing? It's like she's holding on to it with everything that she has. But no amount of holding on is going to stop the destruction. It's going to happen. It is inevitable. So what in your life is falling apart right now? What aspect of your life is falling apart right now? Because this is your current state. This is what you are currently experiencing, feeling, and going through. I do have to say to you, and I say every time the Tower card comes up in a reading, the Tower card, it's not about the act of destruction. It's about the act of re-establishing, rebuilding. So once everything has fallen down, we don't just go, oh well, and leave everything in a pile of rubble on the floor and move on. No, we clean up, we pick up, we salvage what we can, we pick up what we can, and then we re-establish, we rebuild. But often when we rebuild our lives, nobody's going to rebuild their life in exactly the same way that it was, because when an opportunity comes to rebuild, we look at it and we say, actually, you know what, now that I have the opportunity to rebuild, I'm going to make it a bit bigger, a bit wider, a bit longer, a bit shorter, a bit taller, a bit fatter, a bit colorful. We change things, we improve on the recipe. Um, and this is exactly what Spirit is saying, is your current situation, your current predicament, the world or the environment or the life that you are living at the moment, there is chaos and destruction. Things are not fabulous. Things are not perfect, okay? They're not. But we know that. And it's been like that for a while. But the focus now needs to shift on re-establishing who you are. And I think this is where the rose quartz love, unconditional love, is going to come into it, because you've got to learn to love yourself. Because if you love yourself, you won't re-establish your life in a way that still causes you pain and discomfort. If you love yourself, you're going to set your life up in a way that brings you love, happiness, and joy. If you set your life up again, if you re-establish yourself up in the same way that was causing you pain and destruction, then you're just stupid. And I know you're not stupid. All right, let's have a look at our Queen of Pentacles. So Queen of Pentacles is answering the question of what has been affecting your mood the most lately. Now, I said I loved her. I said to you that when I first pulled her out, I said, oh, I love the Queen of Pentacles. You know why I love her so much? Because she is so practical, she is so down to earth, and she means business. She doesn't let anybody push her around, okay? She knows what she's capable of, she knows what she's worth, and nobody or nothing is going to stop her from doing, getting, achieving, and accomplishing what she wants. So she is a strong feminine force, okay? She can manipulate, she does manipulate, but she also does nurture and take care of those in her realm. All right, if you're not in her realm, she's going to cut you off, right? She's just going to push you aside. But if you belong to her family, if you're in her inner circle, she's going to have your back. But she's also very focused on what needs to be done and how it needs to be done. So how is this answer to the question of what's been affecting your mood lately? Well, maybe you've been so focused on doing the right thing at the right time for the right reasons and the right way that you haven't seen the other opportunities that are around you. Remember, there is chaos and destruction in your world. So you've taken on a very practical, logical, down-to-earth approach of cleaning, tidying, and sorting, but maybe this has actually been your restriction, your limitation, because you haven't really done anything else except be practical and logical and down to earth. So this is why it is affecting your mood. So you're feeling as if it's just never ending, because you just sweep the floors and there's dust again. You just sweep the floors and there's dust again. Why? Because you're sweeping into one corner, you're sweeping into another corner, and as you're sweeping, you're creating a plume of dust. And then when the dust settles, the dust is there again. So all you're doing is this continuous repetitive motion that's not actually fixing or solving the problem. You're not re-establishing, and you're doing it out of practicality and not out of love. Okay, so where should you be focusing your energy? Because this is what you're doing wrong. Okay, and like I said, I love the Queen of Pentacles, but there's a time and a place for her, and for your life at the moment, considering what you're going through, she's not bringing positivity into your life. She's actually, this action, this behavior, this practical kind of outlook is actually hindering you and not helping you. So where should you be focusing your attention right now? We have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is an interesting card, okay, because the Seven of Swords is a little bit controversial. Seven of Swords is the card of saying, I mean, okay, but let's just look at the artwork, because the artwork is actually quite pretty here. We have this, I'm going to call it this basket of eggs, right? This nest of eggs. And she's come along, and she does look like she's a little bit snake-like. And look what she's done. She's grabbing an egg. Her tail is here, and she's like looking down at the eggs and going, well, I want some more, like one egg is not enough. So these are not her eggs. These eggs do not belong to her. She has come along, and she has spotted this nest of eggs, and she's like, oh, opportunity. Okay, opportunity strikes, and she's striking. So I know the artwork doesn't look so dangerous and so scary, but she's basically taking something that doesn't belong to her. Why? Because the opportunity is there. Now I know it's controversial, and I know that in life, we've all been conditioned and told, and we've been raised to say don't take what doesn't belong to you. But sometimes, in life, spirit, the universe, place things in our path for us to take. But we're so busy being practical and mindful and blah 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 that we don't see the opportunity that's there. Where should you be focusing your attention? On grabbing opportunities as they present themselves. And don't feel as if you're stealing from somebody else or taking an opportunity away from somebody else. Because you know what? It's your turn. It's your turn. It's your turn to have a little bit of good luck, to have a little bit of a positive outcome, to have a positive opportunity happen to you. But if you keep sweeping and sweeping and sweeping and being practical and being honest and being whatever, your world is just going to keep crumbling. So when a bricklayer comes along and he happens to have a spare bucket of cement, put him to use to reestablish your life. Don't go, oh, well, actually, it's not my bucket. It's somebody else is paying you, somebody else is using you, you belong to somebody else. No. If he says to you, I have a spare bucket of cement, say yes, please, and thank you. So that's what the Seven of Swords is saying to you. Yes, please, and thank you are the only words allowed to come out your mouth. If somebody offers you help, if somebody offers you an alternate, instead of going, oh, no, shame, don't worry, I'll cope, you're not coping. You're not coping. So say yes, please, and thank you. Take the eggs. We've just had Easter. Take the eggs. All right? Take the eggs. Yes, please, and thank you. That's all you're allowed to say. All right. So when we do self-reflection, we focus on the negative, we focus on where we're going wrong, but I like to keep everything quite well balanced, and I like to focus on where things are going right as well. Okay, so what has been going well for you? And we have my favorite card. So Three of Cups came out in reading number 2. I mentioned it there, I'll mention it here as well. In the whole of the tarot system, there are 2 cards which are my absolute favorites. Three of Cups, it has to be the best one for me. So much so that I even had 3 cups tattooed onto my arm because I just love my 3 of Cups. Why? Because it represents joy. It represents happiness. It represents togetherness. It represents spending good time with good people for good reasons. And that's the reason why I breathe air every day, is to spend time with people like you, to spend time, in happiness, in joy. I don't do anything if it doesn't bring me joy. So what has been going well for you is the time that you spend with other people. So you need to understand that we've got people in our lives, and then we've got people in our lives. So there are those people that are just full of negative, hot air, depressing, grumpy nonsense. There are those people, and then there are people who make you feel better. Then there are people who uplift your soul, that after spending half an hour with them, you walk away just feeling so much happier. That is what you're doing well, okay? Is in separating yourself from the chaos, the people that are chaotic, and the people who bring happiness and joy to your life. And what you are doing well at the moment is that you are allowing yourself to spend time with the right kind of people, but you're still not allowing them to help you. You're still not taking advantage of the situations, but you're working on that. Well, you will be working on that now. So this is something that is going well for you, is the fact that you do have amazing people in your life who do uplift you, who do love you unconditionally. Rose quartz, they love you unconditionally. They see you unconditionally. They know that your world is crumbling. And you know what? They don't judge you for it. They're not trying to make sure that everything's perfect. They're just saying, you know what? Let's just let our hair down and have 5 minutes of fun. We'll worry about the rest of the sweeping later. But for now, let's just have fun. You do have those people, and spending time with those people is wonderful. It is amazing, and it is working for you. So keep doing that. But at the same time, we just need to make some adjustments over here. And then finally, rose quartz friends, wise words of wisdom from Spirit. We have the Three of Pentacles. And the Three of Pentacles is the card of teamwork. It is the card of recognizing that you can't do this alone. When things collapse in the way that they are, when there is just so much chaos and so much drama all around you, when there is so much unhappiness and there is so little love in your life, you can't fix it on your own. And this is why you've got that Seven of Swords as to where you should be focusing your energy. Because this is Spirit saying, we're giving you opportunity. We're laying the opportunities right in front of you. All you have to do is grab them. But you're not doing that. Spirit is saying, work with me. Okay? I'm giving you opportunities. You've got good people in your life. But you keep focusing on the one thing over and over and over again, which is why you are losing your grip. Spirit is saying to you, accept the help. So when I was saying to you, say yes, please, and thank you, it's because it's exactly what Spirit is saying to you. Yes, please, and thank you. Understand that you alone, as much as you are amazing, strong, capable, this situation that you're dealing with right now is not one that you need to be working with on your own. You need to reach out to your friends. You need to reach out to Spirit. You need to reach out to people who love you unconditionally and ask them to help you, because you can't do this on your own. And if you have absolutely nobody, I'll be your person. I'll be your person, because you shouldn't be doing whatever this is. You should not be facing this on your own, because you're doing your best, but your best isn't good enough right now. You need help. There are opportunities. You just need the courage and the confidence to take them. So friends, I do hope that this reading on self-reflection has been helpful to you. I do hope that it, as painful as it might be, I do hope that it opens up your eyes to reality, to the situation that's right in front of you, and not just to highlight the problem, but to highlight the way to fix it. Thank you for being with me. Much love and many blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care.